Good morning. This is an experiment. This is the first time that I have gone straight to live streaming on YouTube as opposed to doing it through third-party software. Excuse me. So we'll see how that goes. We had a little snow last night. It's -7. This will be my first walk around the lake in the snow, and it is actually snowing a little bit right now. Nothing significant, but a little bit. So I'm hoping this is working actually, and that it's in focus and everything else, because this is an entirely different setup. So I don't quite know what to expect from comments and so forth, and if I'll be able to read them. But anyway, the video should be good. So around the lake we go. Looks like the camera is set a little less wide angle than it defaulted to on the other one, which is interesting. Is that what I want? I mean, I'm sure I can. No, I can't really adjust it either. I'll probably go back to using the other, but this was just to see what this was like. And since I've now reached the 1,000 subscriber mark, I'm able to do it directly to YouTube with fewer restrictions. 1,003 subscribers as of this morning, so the number continues to go up, but the important one was that 1,000 allows me to monetize this, and so far that's meant absolutely nothing. But still, it's a start. At least the capability is there. I sort of prepared for this morning's walk by buying new gloves yesterday too, because my old ones were worn and not very warm. Work-wise, I'll have plenty of publishing stuff to work on today, that's for sure. I guess my big announcement yesterday was that Shadowpaw Press, my publishing company, has obtained North American rights to the new novel by Robert J. Sawyer, which is coming out from Audible as an audiobook original. It's out now, called The Downloaded, with an A-list cast with people like Brendan Fraser in it. So that's exciting. They have a 6-month exclusive period, and then the print rights become available. And ebook rights. I don't have the ebook. Rob's keeping those himself. But Shadowpaw Press will have the print rights. So there'll be that May 7th, I believe, is the agreed on date for that. Walking very careful here. This is actually the worst possible combination, this little bit of snow over ice for slipperiness, so I have to be very, very careful today. Well, I do see that there's somebody watching, so at least that much is working. Oh, and there's a comment. Is that a comment? No, it's not a comment. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, dear. They're much harder to read here than they were on the other one, so that's one reason not to use this. Somebody said good morning, and then it went away again. So I may not be very good on comments today. I'm just interested to see what this looks like when I get back and have a chance to look at it myself. But I suspect I'll go back to using Prism as the streaming software I normally use, which allows me to live stream to Facebook as well, which was one reason I did that. This way I can only live stream to YouTube today. But it's an experiment. Also, the Maybe there's a setting where you can make the live chat look better. I don't know. Bigger. I didn't see anything that gave me any control over it, but perhaps it existed. My horizon seems to be a little wonky today, too. Everything seems to be leaning slightly to the left. We go up here and cross Albert Street. Actually, look. The camera is not sitting straight in the gimbal. I'm trying to figure out what's causing that problem. I'm not sure there's anything I can do about it, but let's see here. Is it not properly gripped? Something's not right. It's higher at one end of the clamp than it is at the other. I'm sure a lot of that would be fixed if I didn't have a case on the phone, but oh well, it is what it is. Just tilt your head a little bit if it looks slightly crooked today. It's probably a somewhat slower walk around the lake too because of the iciness. Yeah, I don't see any way to fix that today. I don't know why it's so crooked. It's annoying though. It looks like I should be able to easily fix it. I just can't. It looks like I should be able to just reseat it in the gimbal and it should be more level, but it seems to be where it should be. Yeah, maybe that helps. Maybe not. We'll see. There must be some way to make comments more visible doing the direct live stream, but it's a very long place to wait usually for the light to change, unfortunately. Okay, so here we go. Over to the right, we have to go around the sinkhole, which opened up earlier this summer. Not entirely sure what their plans are here. Looks like it's just staying. There's got those pumps there, which they won't be pumping a lot in the winter. They won't be pumping any in the winter. But I don't know what the long-term plans are for it. Somehow it has to be filled in at some point. Well, it does still have water in the bottom. So if you look down there, you can see there's actually water in the bottom of it. I think today, I thought for a minute that the lake had frozen over a little bit, but I think it's just very, very gray and probably steaming a little too. Today we'll go this way around the lake. Saskatchewan Legislative Building up ahead of us there. See a little bit of sun shining over there through the clouds. Whoa, come back here. Gimbal keeps doing weird things, and I don't know why. That's the Albert Street Bridge, currently just flying Canadian flags. It flies various flags depending on what's going on in the city. Lots of geese and gulls and ducks there in the water. Remember to watch my feet because it's very uneven and there's chunks of ice to trip over, unknown slipperiness under the snow. I don't want to fall down live on camera. I've done it before. Once was enough. This is where what forms the lake. There's a dam right there. Not a lot of water going over the spillway at the moment. We'll walk up through the, the water smells funny too. We'll walk up through the ornamental gardens, which won't be very ornamental today. Oh, there's my comments. Okay. But they do come and go and then they disappear. So I know somebody just said something, but it was gone before I could read it. The background is too white. So another reason to go back to my other software after today. There, the comments do go away, but they scroll up and they stay on the screen until I have a chance to see them. You know, and if somebody did that super chat thing where they gave me money, I wouldn't even know it. It'd go by before I could see it, I think. I don't know what that looks like. Nobody's ever given me money for doing this. Lots of birds. But I know somebody said hello there, I think, but I'm sorry I didn't respond in time. Is there a better setting? Let me look again here. All messages are visible. I think that's what I want. Yeah, no, that's what I want. So I think that's what I got set up. There's one. It said, and that was all jumbled up, like two things over top of each other. I still couldn't read it. So sorry, I probably won't be responding in person to chats today. Yes, I was experimenting there too. So, oop. Suddenly deciding to take flight. A whole bunch of them there. Pretty cool. Let's go this way. Across the street here. Yes, I apologize again for not being able to see comments the way I'm used to. I don't like the way that the YouTube app is doing that. So I will go back to my Prism live streaming app next walk. I think. I got to look at some settings there too, so it's all kind of new. Oop. Hello. I have no idea why I did that. Just decided to swing around and look at me for no reason I can see. There it does it again. What is with that? I did that before on a walk. Then I hadn't done it for a while, but it could happen again today, so very weird. Saskatchewan Legislative Building. Oh, and there was somebody who was complaining because I would just turn around and look at things, and she didn't like that because she was walking along with me on a treadmill, I guess, which, you know, I'm sorry about that, but that's not what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to show things as I walk, not just a straightforward walk straight ahead the whole time. So, but that was, when it does it that rapidly, it's definitely a technical problem and not something I did. Legislative building, again, my horizon is wonky. I don't know why. Over here is Queen Elizabeth on her horse. Also very wonky horizon. This is annoying. It's just not working well this morning. The gimbal doesn't. Or the app, for that matter. Now I just decided to quit altogether. I wonder if the lock button was kind of part way on and that was the problem. Maybe that was it. It's easy to, there's a lock switch that's easy to hit by accident. And even though it wasn't completely locked, it might have been enough to give it some resistance, and that's why the gimbal was having fits. So maybe it'll be better now. Or not. Still crooked. What if I go to point of view? Yeah, the horizon really goes nuts when you do that. So I keep coming back to the same one, even though it's not doing what I want it to this morning. So I apologize. This has been a very clunky walk so far. Hopefully it'll smooth out from here. Honestly. Okay. Hang on for a minute. I'm going to turn this right off and then boot it up again. Okay, let's see if that improves. Hold on. Very annoying. This is an expensive piece of equipment, this gimbal here. And I've already bought like 2 of them over the course of 3 of them over the course of doing these walks. And when they don't work, it's really annoying, not just to me, but to you, who's been watching all that and going, what the heck is he doing? Yeah, well, I won't go that way because there's a snowblower right there, so we'll go this way today. Okay, hopefully that was all the drama. I'll be straightforward walking the rest of the way here. The horizon looks better. Hopefully the gimbal does what it's supposed to, which is, just look ahead for the most part. Need to pick up the pace here too. That probably already added 5 minutes to the walk. It shouldn't be so cold today that the battery goes out on the phone. It does that when I walk in, it's like minus 40. Wind chill. Or even temperature. I don't think it's quite been minus 40 when I've done a walk, but it was minus 34 on one morning. One memorable walk around the lake in the dark at minus 34. Let's get back to the lake here. Dogs, there are always dogs. 2 of them in this case. You can probably hear the geese going over. No, that's the gimbal doing that on its own. Decided to point over that way. I could understand it if I was using the software that comes with it because it's designed to do things like follow action and stuff like that, but I'm not using the software. I do want to get across the road here in a minute. Got a place where there's not a lot of ice on the corner. Here we go. On the curb, I mean. There's the lake, more geese. That's the Roberts Plaza over there. That's an apartment building, the tall building. I wonder if there's a reset I can do on the gimbal. I can't do it right now, but when I get home, I'm going to take a close look at it. It just feels like the software is confused or messed up somehow. The operating system, I guess. Slippery here, and it slopes down, so that's a bad combination. Let's go in the snow. Lots of geese here on the shoreline. I'm going to stick to the snow because the sidewalk is so slippery. Oh, see, that one was Gary. Greetings from somewhere. It was gone before I could read it. Not good. Definitely going to go back to my other software instead of using direct live to YouTube. If you can turn on monetization, because it seems to default to none on the other app. You have to set that every time you do a live stream. Oh, and that's can't read it. Sorry, but hello. Talk amongst yourselves. I might be able to read it if it wasn't a white background. Maybe there's some way to check the change the text color. I don't know, but white on white's not working here. So Holodomor monument to the Ukrainians massacred in the genocide by, well, and starved, the genocide by Stalin, the early 20th century. Saskatchewan legislature was the first in the world to recognize it as a genocide, but not the last. This little statue of a little starving girl. She looks particularly cold and pitiful, with snow on her shoulders as well. No, making good time now. And the gimbal seems to be behaving itself, so maybe restarting it did the trick. I think the path is not too icy here, so we'll get back on it. Last time I did this, there were still some autumn leaves, but the snow and the cold has pretty much finished them off. Even the trees that were hanging on have mostly let them go. These bushes still have some. And may have. For most of the winter, they may not come off necessarily. Geese everywhere. I don't know what's going on in the city. Find a few things there. Oh, let's go around here just to see lake. It's basically a pump house, but it gives you a slightly different view of the lake and the Spruce Island over there, which is a wildlife habitat. You can see all the birds on the water down below that. There's a few autumn leaves clinging over here. To you too. Don't know what he was saying, but it didn't sound complimentary. No, gimbal, stay with me. No, look straight ahead. Straight ahead and stay there. Here's a setting called L. I wonder if that just locks it in one direction. And then I can move it. No, I think it locks onto wherever you're pointed, and it doesn't matter whether you move it left or right. That's this one. Yeah, well, that's no good. You would think POV would work, but again, it won't keep it level. So. I know, I've played with those like almost every walk, and I always come back to the same one, so I don't know why I bother checking. Lots of a picnic area over here. Not right now, but the tables are there. There's not a lot of picnics happening. I wonder if there's a something else to look at later. Okay, enough of that. I'll try to quit talking about my gimbal. Some things should not be spoken about in public. There's the totem pole over there that was given to mark the centennial of British Columbia joining Confederation, I believe, is when it was presented. There's some color there still on that tree, just a splash. Over here we get another look at Spruce Island. Oop, startled some ducks, those were. Mostly the birds seem to be hanging out on the lake today. Thinking about going south, I guess. Downtown, of course, is over there. Which is where I was yesterday and the day before. Hopefully I'll get in a walk on the weekend. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on what else is going on. Theoretically, I could stream in 4K now, but if I'm just using YouTube, but I don't think the bandwidth would be there. It's a 5G connection, but it can get a little weak in spots. Especially around the lake here for some reason. I think it's the bushes. Bit of yellow still on that tree. I'll read all your comments later. I just can't read them now reliably. By the time I get them pointed in a direction where there's a chance of reading that little tiny print in white, it fades out. I don't know why they don't just let it stay on the screen. And maybe there's a setting for that I just haven't set. That's quite possible. But again, this is an experiment today. I don't know if you can see the little bit of snow that's falling. It's very light. It looks more like fog than anything else in the distance, but there are individual specks of ice coming down. It is unusual to have snow this early and this sustained. I usually say it's about 50-50 for Remembrance Day, and that, of course, is still more than a week away. Halloween, it happens, obviously, but it's rarer to have snow, much rarer. However, it is a fairly extreme climate. The record, I mentioned this earlier when I looked it up, record first frost. There's a crane up here for some reason. It's unusual to see in the park. Record first frost in Regina was on July 26th, back in the 30s. And also in the 30s, the record late frost, which was late first frost, October 14th, I think, if I remember right. Those two things happened within a year or two of each other, so we're about as far inland as you can get, so there's no moderating from any large bodies of water here. And fairly far north. I mean, we're about the same latitude as London, I think. But again, landlocked, so we're more like Moscow, only I think colder. Ottawa is the world's coldest national capital, and we're way colder than Ottawa, so we must be colder than any national capital you want to name. So what are they doing here with going down this way? carefully because it's downhill here, which is always a little concerning. I'm going to get over here in the snow where there might be better grip, or not. It's like some sort of SAS power switch box, I think. Must be being replaced or installed. This is much more scenic in this direction. That's what that big gray box is some sort of power substation or something. Not a substation, but a switching box. Another good look at the lake here. Ledge over there with snow on its dome. The city in the distance. Downtown, I mean. We're in the city, but downtown. And of course, ubiquitous water birds. Surveyors Monument. Years ago, I wrote the history of the Saskatchewan Surveyors Association. It's still very icy here. I haven't come too close to slipping yet, but those could be famous last words. That's Pine Island to the right. I'm not going to go out there today, I don't think. They don't clear anything over there in the winter, so it's pretty much, once the snow comes, it's not much fun to go over there. Ooh! Right there almost got me. Didn't even look like there was anything there, but it was under that thin skein of snow, so came close. Laying some kind of cable too, it looks like. Actually, it's the false sense of security that gets you, because you look ahead, you think, oh, there's nothing there. And you miss that patch of ice under the snow and you hit it at full speed. And it's hard to catch yourself. In that case, it was one of those lumps that went sideways. So my foot went sideways on it. Pine Island, you look straight down the bridge, you see the ledge lined up with it nicely. I think that was another comment that just went by before I even noticed it was there. I just saw it fading out. Here comes our third dog of the morning. We're two together, the first ones we spotted. More geese, or ducks actually. Nice clear stretch here. This doesn't seem to have ice on it at all, so I can walk at my more usual pace. If that wasn't a comment I saw earlier, maybe it was something on the screen. Again, I can't read those today. Sorry about that. I'll look at them later if you want to say anything, but I can't check them right now. Don't know if I'd do any better with the other one. You'd still have the other software, you'd still have the white on white problem. That, and because even though it's cloudy, it's quite bright, my pupils have contracted, so the screen looks quite dim. What if there's an audio way to do it? Probably not. I would read the comments to you. around the bend. We're sort of turning the corner now and heading home from here. On this side of the lake. It's the farthest we go east on this walk. Oh, there's something. They're over top of each other, so I can't read them. Huh. I don't know what to do about that. Like, I saw there were two things there, but the software put them on top of each other, so there was no way to read them. That can't be right. There's got to be a way to stop that. The comment settings again and see. Yes, I know. I could get a moderator. I don't think I need one. It's not going to change anything. I set it to top chat, so some messages that may include spam may not be visible, but since at the moment none of them are visible, to me, it doesn't really matter. Over into this bridge, this is where the water flows into the lake. Under this bridge here. It's actually more lake on the other side, but I always think of this as the end of the lake, but really it's still lake on the other side for quite a ways. Back in the summer, quite often when I came along here, I'd hear somebody playing the flute under the bridge there, enjoying the sound really down there where that walkway is. Not in this weather. Your flute probably wouldn't stick to your mouth, but it wouldn't be any fun on your fingers. Fourth dog. So I promise I'll look at comments when I get home and reply to them. I don't know if I can reply to live chat comments, though. Probably can't. Oh well, I'll look at them at least. And tomorrow, or Sunday, whenever I walk next, I'm going to go back to my other streaming software instead of going direct to YouTube. At least then I have a fighting chance of reading the comments here. They just are impossible. Geese taking off over there. A lot of geese here at the little beach here. Geese at the beach. And we'll go through the marina again, which I normally do, although not always. And it turned around on me again. Look at that. Hello. Didn't mean to give you a look at me. What happens if I... No, that won't work. That's so weird. Gotta figure out what's doing that. I'm not very attractive right now. I'm probably out of focus too. See, there's a comment, and I know it was there, but I had no hope of reading it. Don't try walking along the pier today. Might slip and fall in the water, which would be not fatal, but unpleasant. This is Bar Willow up here, restaurant. has a nice outdoor deck, and they do keep it. Stop that. Start it up again. Unbelievable. That's just without warning. It simply swings around and points the other direction. Very annoying. It's a cold thing because, well, no, it wasn't cold the last time it was doing it. And I was also walking around the lake. Don't know why the lake would make that happen. Jogging looks terrifyingly scary to me on these kinds of snowy paths. Oh, hopefully I'll figure out what's... Ow! I got something in my shoe. Hopefully I'll figure out what's going on here. You know what I could do different? Let's go up this way today. Up these stairs. So go where they keep the canoes and rowing boats. Marina rentals. If you want to rent a boat. Closed for the season. It's surprising. I don't go up these stairs very often, so this is different. It's not all that exciting, but different. And that puts us along here, where often I'm walking down closer to the lake at this point. And I actually will do something a little different when I get over to the viewing spot, too. Morning. I actually have a walking stick, and I'm increasingly thinking, I have two of them, increasingly thinking I should carry one while I do this in the winter. It might not keep me from falling down, but it couldn't hurt. So that's where we were just walking by, the Connexus boathouse. Connexus is a credit union. I don't think I've been touching the wrong button or anything when I walk. There's another comment. And again, I can't read it. It's like there's two comments on top of each other, or all the lines of the comment are on top of each other. That's absolutely useless. But I know you said it, so whatever you said, yay, thank you. West Canada Centre over here. We'll go out on the viewing platform today, and then down and around. So this gives you this view of the legislative building from the east. I was trying to keep it pointing straight ahead. And of course you get a nice panoramic view of the lake from up here. There's the bridge I did not go over today, and the ledge. My house is that direction, and downtown is down there, just barely visible through the snow and the fog. whatever combined mixture we have of that. Okay, now I'll go down these stairs. They seem fairly clear. They're wood, so they don't ice up the same way concrete does. And in the summer, there's a fountain in that pond there. Aeration fountain to get oxygen in the water. We'll go this way, where the ice has resumed its ever-present presence. Ice is omnipresent right now. Sort of like God. Funniest sign I saw in a Christian bookstore. It was in Missouri a few years ago. And it was in the washroom. It said, wash your hands and say your prayers, because God and germs are everywhere. I was watching a funny clip today about, I doubt it really happened, he's a comedian. So when he was little, his father asked him to sing Amazing Grace. And he, as a 7-year-old, thought Amazing Grace was a really boring song, which it is. Very meaningful, but there are a million verses. If you sing them all, it does drag. So he discovered, he said, he realized that you could sing Amazing Grace to the tune of his mother's favorite song, which was Ghost Riders in the Sky, and then he does it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see, and so forth. And then he goes on to say, he also discovered, like his father wasn't happy with that, so asked him to do it again. So this time he thought, well, it reminded him of the song that his grandfather played on a record machine out behind the barn. He wasn't sure what it was about, but the tune worked. It was House of the Rising Sun, so it's amaze. It's hard to do that. I think for a second. There's a house in New Orleans, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. And that still wasn't good enough. So he decided to give it. His father asked him to do it again. It wasn't what he wanted. So he sang one more time, and he always thought Amazing Grace was too slow. So he thought maybe what was really needed was a peppier tune. And realized that you could sing Amazing Grace to the theme music of his favorite TV show, Willow Island. I can almost read that. No, like even when I can see the text, it's all jumbled. And so there's HMC's Queen over there, landlocked ship. Willow Island coming into view over here now. And it works too, so you get Amazing Grace, how sweet this sound that saved a wretch like me. So right back here, tail. How sweet this sound that saved a wretch like me. Yeah, it's hard to do because I know the real tune so well. But anyway, it does fit. 3-hour tour. Sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, but now I found was blind, but now I see. Anyway, it was funny. My brother sent that to me. He often sends me funny clips. My oldest brother, my eldest brother of my two. Sure, there's many other tunes because it's a very standard song format or poem format. And I don't know that the tune was written. I mean, the words were written. And I'm not sure where the tune came from, if it was composed for Amazing Grace or if it was just a hymn tune that was floating around, because there were a lot of those, and you would get in hymn books, they would just tell you what tune to use, and you're supposed to know them, like Cremant for 23rd Psalm and things like that. So I don't know if the Amazing Grace tune, which now is inextricably linked with those words, was composed for those words or already existed. Something to look up, which is something else I can't do while I'm walking, much like reading your comments today. Willow Island. You can actually go over there and rent that one for picnics, but you probably wouldn't want to right now. It's a jogger again. I don't think it's the same one. She really got around the lake fast. I don't know. It just looks like suicide to me. Running on these roads. Perhaps she has shoes with more grip than these are my winter boots, but you could still use more grip. You can get like slip-on studs that you put on and gives you metal studs on your boots, or something with more grip. I can almost read that one, but I couldn't quite get there before it was gone. Sorry. Hope you're talking to each other in chat, because I'm kind of out of it. Tomorrow will be better, or Sunday I'll be back on my other streaming software. No, I know now that I'm going to stick to that for my purposes for these live streamed walks, unless there's some setting that I can improve. But thank you for watching, anyone who's there. At least I'm not alone, and if I fall, someone can call 911. There's Willow Island, and as I always say, this is where my Shards of Excalibur books start. The Lady of the Lake from King Arthur shows up right there and tells this local girl, teenager, that she and this boy who are with her have to go find the scattered Shards of Excalibur from all around the world, collect them before Merlin can. And thereby hangs a 5-book tale, which you can buy in fine bookstores, or through fine bookstores. You probably won't find the books themselves this late, but they're available. Amazon, anywhere, or direct from Shadowpaw Press, shadowpawpress.com. You can even get the whole 5-book collection as one ebook. I don't think anybody's taken advantage of that, and I'm not sure why, but it's there. It's the cheapest way to do it. Maybe I'll go on and write the continuation of that story. I wanted to carry on. Well, I kind of did. Never really did much planning, but I have a general idea of what would happen. The first books all take place in our world. The next set would take our kids from this world into a fantasy world. See, there's more comments. But they're all jumbled. I cannot read them. I just know they're there. It's not just my eyes. The text is jumbled, garbled, with multiple lines on top of each other. I mean, how useless is that? That can't be what's supposed to happen. And then they fade. By the time I even realize they're there and point it in a direction where I can put it against a dark background, they've already faded out. We'll go through here today. See, there's another one. Same thing. Except that it's 17 degrees somewhere. I could see the last line clearly, but nothing else. -7 here, as I said. I've got the Gilligan Islands theme song stuck in my head, as one does whenever one sings that. If you're a certain age, anyway. I will try to refrain from singing it here. It's hard, though. Just sit right back and you'll hear it. See, it's very hard not to just keep going. Tale of a fateful trip. Don't know if I can stop. It started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. Well, that's the first verse. Maybe I can stop there. The mate was a mighty sailing man, or not. The skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. Well, now I pretty much have to finish it. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship struck ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too, a millionaire and his wife, a movie star, Professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Isle. Okay, now I'm done. Geese are mostly just hanging around here today. Dogs, dogs, dogs. I see pink waving hands, but I can't read the text. If you're just joining me, comments are illegible to me today because I'm live streaming direct to YouTube and it's jumbling everything. It's like printing lines on top of each other. So I cannot read them. I apologize for that. Tomorrow I'll go back to my regular streaming software and I should have a better chance of it, although sometimes they still go by too fast. More waving pink hands. I can see that at least. See, oh wow. It's like any text, any comment that's more than one line, it prints all the lines on top of each other.
Anywhere I can.
Yeah, again, there, that was all a jumble. Okay. Getting closer to home with every step. Clearly, there's a whole bunch of talking going on there in the chat. I just can't read it. It's a gazebo. I have performed there with a group, an a cappella group, and was attended a wedding there once. It's an interesting wedding. The groom and all of his friends were dry bikers. So they were motorcyclists, but they didn't drink. Teetotaling motorcyclists. And the groom, I mean the bride, a lot of us who were friends on her side were musical theater people, and they drank. So at the reception, you had all these bikers with Cokes and all these actor types with beer and wine. It's kind of funny. I'm not sure I was drinking. Oh! That one almost got me. Again, because it sloped down and my foot caught it and slipped sideways. Yeah, I'm going to start using my walking stick. Give me that one more leg of support. Because I haven't fallen yet, but I've come close now about 4 times since the snow hit. And I don't need to be hitting the ground hard. Which I would, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And I'm about 230 pounds, so I hit the ground pretty hard. 6'2", 230 at the moment. I would like to be more like 6'2", 210. I have been 6'2". 189 is the lowest in my adult life I've ever seen, but I couldn't keep that. Well, perhaps I could have, but I like eating. So I try to do the best I can, but I lost a lot of weight when the pandemic hit. I lost 15 pounds and I haven't really gained that back. I was in the 240s. And that was because I wasn't going out and eating out as much, especially on my, I was writer in residence at the Saskatchewan Public Library at the time, and that meant lunch, and I was up there for 2 nights every week. So lunch and dinners meant a lot more calories. So I actually got a raise when the pandemic hit, and my last 2.5 months of my term were virtual rather than in Saskatoon. So I didn't have those expenses driving up. Because they didn't cover expenses, they just paid you a set sum over the 9-month term. And whatever expenses you had were up to you to cover out of that. All right, here we are back at Albert Street. So I made more money and lost weight when the pandemic hit, so yay me. Wasn't bad for everybody. Speaker's corner there. Oh, it changed quickly for once. That's nice. I think I'll go up Albert Street here just to vary the walk, since I came the same way. Although it certainly is not the most direct path going this way, but we'll do it anyway. All those cars that are mad at me for having stopped them, the walkway. Big spruce along here. They help to mitigate the sound from the road if you live in that house. Some have hedges and stuff, and some don't. They're just like this one. Albert Street here is the main north-south route through town. Right through the heart of downtown and out both ends. Highway 6, I guess, going south. And if you're going to Saskatoon, you'd get on Highway 11. The other end, although 6 I think goes up as well, but it takes you somewhere else. If I remember right. I just know which road to get on when I'm going, wherever I'm going. The houses are much more interesting than the other side, which is just cars going by. It's interesting, the really big houses along Albert Street are further south. I don't know why they kind of got smaller as they got up at this end. Royal Saskatchewan Museum is right over there. Natural History Museum. Hey, they're nice houses, but they're quite a bit smaller than some of the really big ones 2 or 3 blocks south of here, which was prime real estate when Regina was burgeoning in the early 20th century. All right. I think there's probably the snow is less, it's a little enough snow. We might be able to cut through the park here on the corner by the giant grasshopper. Right there. That was made by Wolf Perot. And it's lit up with Christmas colors, Christmas lights, and will be again soon. Then in the spring and summer, it grows up with bushes and gets trimmed to make it a green grasshopper. How green was my grasshopper? Different alley than we normally take, but it still has Davin School at the end of it. We get over to our crescent. Maybe I'll walk down the alley here though to vary that a little bit too. This new house being built here. Nothing much has been happening there for the last few times I've gone by. It's like our extension has not been worked on in 3 months. And it's not even this far along. All right, we'll try the alley. It's been harder work today because of the slippery conditions. It always is. So it always takes longer to do a walk in these weather conditions than it does spring and summer or earlier in the fall. It's only fall. It's not winter for 2 more months, officially. Oof! Unexpected hole. Another hazard of not being able to see the ground very well because everything's white. My shoulder and upper chest get sore from holding the gimbal, I think. It's not my heart. It seems to be very musculoskeletal. Just another being 65, almost 64. That's not rich things. Not 65 till next summer. Here's the alley I normally come down, taking us back to Angus Crescent. Again, that's Davin School, renamed the Crescent School, but I will and always do call it Davin, its original name, because my daughter went to Davin School. She did not attend the Crescent School. Oop. Well, there you go. It's not all that cold and my battery's already at the low end here. That means in really cold weather I'll have no time at all. However, I anticipate upgrading to an iPhone 15 in the not too distant future. And it'll have a new battery, better battery, and hopefully I don't have that problem, because a few times last year in cold weather it would run out before I was done my walk. Whereas when this one was new, it could make it around the lake at really cold temperatures. The older it gets, the faster the battery seems to die in cold weather, or I suppose in general. For most usage, it still seems to last plenty, but the cold does her in. Alrighty, another garbled message, so thank you for that. Whatever you said, I'm sure it was wonderful and I appreciate it. Okay, I will go in and I will look at this and see what exciting comments I missed. And next time I do this, I'll be back on my normal streaming software, I think, which shows the comments better. So thanks for walking with me, and subscribe if you haven't. Yes, there's another comment I can't read. Bye for now.